Tinubu specifically notes the determination and courage the new Prime Minister of the UK demonstrated throughout his years in the opposition and as the leader of the Labour Party. The president said the party's ability to reform, mobilize and position itself for victory after 14 years clearly affirms the leadership qualities of STAMA. President Tinubu also congratulates the citizens and the government of the UK, describing the country as an abiding model of democracy and Nigeria's long-standing partner. The president said he looks forward to deepening relations between Nigeria and the UK in mutual areas of interest and in strengthening democratic institutions, as well as in building a safer and more prosperous future for the people of both countries. Vice President Kashim Shettima has called for a significant shift from dependence on oil to other critical sectors with attractive investment returns in Nigeria. He identified agriculture, manufacturing, renewable energy, and digital innovation, among other sectors, as potential investment ground to explore, saying they align with the nation's development priorities outlined in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. The Vice President, who stated this during the existing Foreign Direct Investors Roundtable at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa Abuja, noted that the 8-point agenda of the Renewed Hope administration of President Bola Tinubu signals diverse avenues for investment from agriculture to renewable energy.
Investments, the volume of investments, it accommodates and attracts. Investments are the lifeblood that fuel innovation, drive growth, and create opportunities for prosperity. Today, as we gather for this roundtable with our esteemed foreign direct investors, we celebrate not just the capital that flows into our nation, but the confidence, trust, and partnerships that these investments represent. Nigeria has not only been a place of promise, but also consistently an incubator of ideas. This inherent potential must be harnessed by utilizing our abundant resources and strategic position as a gateway to Africa's largest consumer market of 230 million people and projected to be the third most populous nation on earth by 2050.
Shettima assured the investors and other development partners of a business environment that is characterized by transparency, accountability, and regulatory certainty. The Vice President observed that with the non-oil sector contributing 93.62% to Nigeria's GDP in the first quarter of 2024, it is imperative to explore other critical sectors of the nation's economy. The federal government has approved $8.5 million under the Presidential Initiative on Afforestation for the afforestation and restoration of degraded forests and other critical landscapes across the country. President Bola Tinubu disclosed this at the first international conference on afforestation and reforestation, which took place in Brazzaville, Congo. The president, who was represented by the Minister of the Environment, Balarabe Lawal, said the presidential approval is in addition to other similar programs like the Great Green Wall Pan-African Program and Agro-Climatic Resilience Semi-Arid Landscape being implemented and have resulted in the restoration of over 1.5 million hectares of degraded forest. It said over 1,428.9 kilometers of shelter belts covering 4,286 hectares have been established. The president added that more than 200,000 forest community members have been empowered and more than 3 million jobs created for the youths. It said relevant policy and legislative framework are being strengthened in response to the current and emerging circumstances the nation is faced with. Now, the federal government says no fewer than 10 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, had either experienced various degrees of flooding or recorded casualties as the rains intensified. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, who dropped the red alert, warned that 21 more states might suffer flooding. It stated this against the background of Wednesday's downpour, which grounded business and commercial activities in Lagos and Ogun states. Utsave explained that the annual flood outlook by the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency released in April had predicted that 148 local government areas in 31 states fell within the high flood risk areas. The affected states include Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, and Kebbi. Others are Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, and Yobe states. Here in Lagos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has stressed the need for states to interact and collaborate to enable citizens enjoy the dividends of democracy. The governor made this known through his deputy governor, Obafemi Hamzat, during a courtesy visit by members of the board and management of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the Lagos Business School. Correspondent Olubukola Akinkolusho has the report.
One of the strategies Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his team have used to achieve the Greater Lagos Dream is partnering with countries, organizations, voluntary organizations, amongst other laudable approach. These countries and organizations have over the years paid courtesy visits to the governor to make their intentions known and how they can partner the state for further development. Paying a courtesy visit to the governor are members of the board and management of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the Lagos Business School. Leader of the delegation, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Dr. Tayo Aduloju, assures of greater collaboration for developmental strides with government.
It's important that whilst our work, which has been predominantly federal and national based, we think that in the next few years we should see some of the work become more deeply embedded in how we support the state.
Representing the governor, his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, is challenging the group to champion the conversation about greater interactions among states, which he believes will develop the nation.
Lagos State cannot separate itself. So what happens in your state, in Ogun State, in Ondo State, in Niger is also important. So, and the influx keeps coming in. So we need help in terms of our interaction with other states, not just federal government. So as we do all these states, and as you know, it's the states that actually have the land, for example, for agriculture. Niger State is about 8% or so of land mass of Nigeria. Lagos is 0.something%. So we need to have bigger interaction. And I think organizations like yours can actually lead that conversation.
Also visiting the governor are members of the Corporate Affairs Commission.
I want to see without any fear of contradiction that Lagos State is setting the pace in promoting ease of doing business in Nigeria, which underscores the thriving existence of multinational companies in the city.
The governor, through his deputy, encourages the CAC to embark on more enlightenment to disabuse the minds of citizens about the perceived cumbersome process of registering businesses.
I'm sure we'll be able to collaborate, but we must find a way to ease it for them, because as you know, some of the challenges is people say it takes time. Then a lot of people don't even know what it takes to register companies. They don't know.
The meeting did not end without the governor's assurance that government will continue to nurture all businesses to optimum growth. Olubukola Akinkolusho, LTV News.
The Lagos State government and the government of Netherlands have signed a letter of intent on effective e-waste management At the signing ceremony, the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, who signed the document on behalf of the Lagos State government, says the partnership with the Netherlands government is a proactive step in handling e-waste and reducing the impact of climate change.
If you handle your waste positively, you are fixing the global ecosystem as per the environment. And municipal waste is key. Electronic waste is key. People are not talking about it, but it's an integral part of the waste system. And I'm glad we're doing a lot of projects with Netherlands. Harvest waste is taking up a major leg of it for us. That's waste to energy. And now, closing the loop, I've come forward to say we shall take up the electronic waste and convert them to wet.
Management of e-waste cannot be better done than now. We have a lot of them, piled, stockpiled in places. We don't even know what to do with them. And this time, our system is going through a lot of, more like a revolution. We transform it, and now we're looking at taking care of our e-waste. I'm sure no state, no subnational in this country would have imagined us going to that level.
The Consular General Netherlands, Michel de Leen, who signed the letter of intent on behalf of his government, says the partnership will create value and wealth from e-waste.
Organized the other day. It was a great honor and a great pleasure to be there because also those things are relevant for us to discuss, to exchange information on best practices and what we do in our countries. But now it's basically about recycling and turning waste into value. As I say, we do so many things with your ministry now that the waste to energy that was signed.
Before now, what happens to our electronic waste? We put them together, ship them out, they convert them to value, bring them into set for us. We get nothing out of them. But now they're going to set up an industry for that purpose in Nigeria, in Lagos. That will generate employment. That will generate resources for our people too.
The initiative, which is expected to commence soon, will be implemented by Close the Loop BV, a social enterprise firm. Like any other bustling city, Lagos tries to balance urban development with the preservation of green spaces and natural habitats. The state also has to deal with environmental degradation. This next report takes a look at some of these environmental abuses and the efforts of the state government to eradicate them. Here is the report. As the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, Lagos is faced with a perennial problem of trading activities on walkways, road verges, medians, setbacks, drainages, pedestrian bridges, and even on main roads. Many of the infrastructure provided by the state government have suffered tremendous abuse from users, leading to environmental degradation, such as air and noise pollution, encroachment on green spaces and natural habitats, increase in waste generation, and traffic congestion.
Many people are illiterate, so not everyone are exposed. The way you do things in your house is how you actually going to, is how you're going to do it outside.
Most of people doesn't know this is our money. They thought this money is government money. It's never a government money. It's your money.
Government have put some of these things in place for our own advantage for us to use. But you see somebody who came from one remote village, in the name of touting and everything, they start destroying because they don't understand the right use of all these things. So normally, it's not everybody that is meant to be in Lagos.
The Lagos State government has continuously warned against the abuse of these infrastructure and in many cases arrested and prosecuted violators, but many have remained deviant.
Some people, there's nothing you do to them. They don't feel it, they don't reason. So when you know that when you throw things around in public places or you destroy government properties, there are penalties. I think people will sit up and you begin to see that the environment begins to get better.
There has to be an orientation, daily orientation. If you go to a developed world, you see in the streets, even in the road, every corner, they give daily orientation to people because we are born to learn every day.
We do find them a lot of time. For the first offender,
on street trading and other of that environmental law of 2017. We do fine them. For the first offender, we fine them 30,000 naira and 3 months imprisonment. Or we do, for the second one, we do 50,000, also 3 months imprisonment. But the third one is 90,000 with 6 months imprisonment. And let me reassure the citizen that it is not about revenue. It's about good behavior. It's about safety of other people. It's about keeping the environment clean.
As the state moves rapidly towards its smart city status, Lagos has no place for activities that causes environmental nuisance.
It is with your hard-earned tax that we do these infrastructural projects. It is with your consent that we do this infrastructure. It is with your help that we do this infrastructure. We have put things in place to make life easier for everybody. It is out of place. When you see something, you must say something. When you see people doing things that are not right, you must be able to call 767 or 112 to help us so that we can stop those people in their track and arrest them.
The government assures of continuous sensitization campaigns against such unwholesome behaviors. It therefore behoves on residents to take ownership of these infrastructure and imbibe the maintenance culture to preserve them for long-term use. Bukola Taylor Cole, LTV News. The Lagos State Task Force has carried out an enforcement for compliance exercise at Adeniji, Adele and adjoining routes to rid the axis of traffic gridlock and criminal activities caused by illegal operators of bus parks and bus stops along the axis. The operation was led by the chairman of the agency, Adetayo Akirile, who said activities of commercial motor operators along that route have been going on for too long. Therefore, it was time to put an end to it. Akirile described the activities of commercial bus drivers as worrisome due to long hours of traffic caused by their actions, which has a devastating effect on motorists and Lagosians as a whole. The chairman further disclosed that the enforcement exercises are ongoing and will be more intense and will be carried out across various parts of the state. It described the exercise as people-oriented, meant to ensure that Lagosians are not deprived of their right for proper utilization of public amenities. In the same vein, the Lagos State Task Force sanitized Awolowo Way and Ikodo Street close to Ikeja underbridge, where the same practice of creating traffic bottlenecks through illegal car parks and garages had been observed. 84 vehicles were confiscated during both operations, and the state government assures residents and commuters around that area that the days of commercial bus drivers dropping off and picking up passengers at unapproved locations has ended. The Lagos State government has emphasized the need for building capacity of Nigerian youths for national growth and development. Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlende, made the remark at the Lagos State Youth Elective Congress of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. Adeshegun Igop has the report.
To provide fresh perspectives and energy in nation building, youths play key roles with emphasis on sustainable development and peace. Speaking to delegates of youth leaders from the 57 local government areas under the umbrella of the National Youth Council of Nigeria at the State Youth Elective Congress, Commissioner for Youth and Social Development reiterates Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's commitment in creating more opportunities for youths with great ideas and innovations. The Commissioner adds that redefining leadership with room for youthful voices and vision is a major stake in the government's Teams Plus agenda.
Aims Plus agenda, social inclusion, gender equality, and the youth, which means a lot of emphasis on the youth, a lot of eyes on the youth. So we must uphold what it is that we are being seen for. We must be of good character, we must be accountable, we must be transparent, and we must be professional in all we do.
The new executive work with the ministry. We are partners in progress, and we need to be on the same page on everything that we do that concerns youth development.
Emerging from a free and fair election, the new leadership of the State's Youth Council promised collaborations with the state government on legislations that will drive youth development.
Meaningful engagement for the Lagos youth. They are going to take on radical change and ensure that our youth in Lagos are gainfully engaged, because we believe that when our youth are engaged, Lagos will be safer, Lagos will be more prosperous. And you agree with me that the population of Lagos is dominated by over 60–65% of young people, and this particular population will enable us to chart a way forward to Lagos.
Lagos State is a center of excellence. We must as well acknowledge that the youth have a large role towards the growth and development of Lagos State, and that is why the youth must be given utmost attention, which myself as the deputy chairman, the chairman, and other executive members are going to work hand in hand towards the success of this.
Developing young people is a sustainable approach to nation building and national development. Adesegun Igo, LTV News.
Still ahead. SANU threatens total shutdown of varsities and nationwide protest over 4 months' salary arrears. That's in the moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 8 on Lagos Television. Now, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, has threatened to shut down varsities across the nation and will on Tuesday protest countrywide to press home its demands. SANU and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, have been in talks with the federal government over the 4 months' salary arrears owed to their members. It had some months back embarked on a warning strike and most recently gave the government a 2-week ultimatum to meet its demands. But the union is accusing the federal government of making promises and not matching words with action, threatening to cripple activities on campuses nationwide if their demands are not met. SANU President Mohammed Ibrahim said the union will have a grand protest in Abuja on the 18th of July, where they will picket the offices of the Minister of Education and the Minister of Labour. It noted that if after the protest the group's demands are met, they will take the next action to press home their demand. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has slated September 18 to deliver its judgment on a suit seeking to remove the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, from office. The court, presided by Justice Inyang Ekwo, fixed the date after all the parties adopted their final briefs of argument. The suit was brought before the court by aggrieved members of the party under the platform of North Central APC Forum. The plaintiffs, led by one Saleh Zazaga, are querying the propriety of Ganduje's appointment as the chairman of the APC. They, among other things, want the court to restrain Ganduje from further parading himself as the chairman of the party. Also, they prayed the court to issue an order directing the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, not to accord recognition to all actions taken by the APC, including congresses, primaries, and nominations since Ganduje became APC chairman on August 3, 2023. As the resumed proceeding in the matter, while counsel to the plaintiffs, Benjamin Davu, urged the court to grant all the reliefs by removing Ganduje as the national chairman of the APC, all the defendants prayed the court to uphold their preliminary objections and dismiss the suit for want of merit. Now, reliable family planning information empowers people to choose the methods that best suits their needs, leading to better health outcomes, reduced unintended pregnancies, and improved economic stability. This was emphasized during a courtesy visit by Development Communication Network to Lagos Television. We have details in Jamiu Shonubi's report.
Access to accurate information on family planning is crucial for individuals and families to make informed decisions about their reproductive health. During a visit to Lagos Television, representatives of the Development Communication Network underscores the critical role of reliable family planning information in fostering healthier communities to improve economic stability. The visit unveils insightful discussions on the importance of accessible family planning information.
And we are using media as a means to disseminate information, correct information about family planning. And you know, if you don't, like people will come and say that if you don't know, you don't know. And we know that there are a lot of misinformation, myths and misconceptions about family planning. So those are the things that TCI and DEFCON, they are coming together to give people quality information about family planning, accountability on the part of government to continue release on commodity security.
General Manager of the state-owned television station, Adeshola Kosoko, while assuring of continuous collaboration, presents some demands and also urges the visitors to leverage on the station's platform to promote accurate information on family planning, especially to the grassroots.
Television caters for the greater percentage of the people at the grassroots. A lot of the other TV stations are either on pay TV, which means if you cannot afford subscription, you cannot watch. So it reduces the level at which the information goes out. But with us, our terrestrial and our social media platforms, and then we also disseminate information in almost all the languages. It's not just in English. We have Ogu, we have Yoruba, we do Pidgin, we do a bit of, we have Ekwe, which is Igbo, we do Hausa as well.
We know that LTV have a lot of health programs. We can key into that. There are information also that we can even give LTV to help to disseminate. And thank God that LTV runs languages, Egun, Hausa, Igbo, because there are some cases that we have discovered in Egun community, Hausa community, that we need to go and give them that information about family planning and child spacing.
The Development Communication Network's visit to Lagos Television serves as a reminder of the power of information in shaping healthier and more economically stable communities. Their efforts to promote reliable family planning information through Lagos Television is vital in ensuring that individuals can make informed decisions that positively impact their lives.
The Lagos State government says it is planning to hold an appraisal conference on the recently completed Hajj operations. Commissioner for Home Affairs Ibrahim Layode, in an interview shortly after returning to Nigeria, says it will be done in conjunction with the National Hajj Commission.
Inshallah, when the National Hajj Commission were back, we are going to have post-Hajj a conference where they are going to invite all the Amir Hajj, the state and the secretary, the board, everybody. We are going to have a meeting, kind of a post-Hajj conference like that, which will be able to tackle one or two things that we think we need to correct to do more better in that area. I think they are preparing for such a meeting, which is welcome idea. We thank God with the support of the Mr. Governor, and that make it so easier for them. May Almighty Allah be with him and the Mr. Deputy Governor. May Almighty continue to do good on his own work also. So we thank him so much. It's very, very encouraging. It's very, very good. They also were very, very happy.
Coming up, NNPC reiterates advantages of compressed natural gas in automobiles over petrol. That's in business news. Stay with us.
On business news tonight, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has frowned at the recent hike in tariff payable by Band A customers from 206 naira 80 kobo per kilowatt hour to 209 naira 5 kobo per kilowatt hour. While demanding an immediate reversal of the new tariff, the NLC also accused the federal government of insensitivity and insincerity. NLC President Joe Ajaero disclosed that the hike in electricity tariff represented the height of impunity and arrogance, saying the development would put more companies out of business as well as create more difficulties for consumers. Recall that Discos had announced a new round of tariff hikes. According to them, the new tariff approved by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission was due to the high operational cost occasioned by rising inflation and exchange rate fluctuations. Ajero recalled that during the recent national strike, the federal government promised to address the hike in Band A tariff, wondering why the next step taken was another tariff hike instead of a downward review. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says the use of compressed natural gas in automobiles is 40% cheaper than using premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. NNPC also announced that 100 CNG stations will be functional nationwide in 12 months, as it simultaneously inaugurated 11 CNG stations across various locations in Abuja and Lagos. The managing director in NPCL Retail Limited, Oops Stockman, added that the stations represent a major step in extending the national oil firm CNG presence in Nigeria, marking an important moment in its efforts to diversify Nigeria's energy mix. It was further explained at the event that the government had been subsidizing the petrol consumption of an average car owner by about 6 million naira to 9 million naira per annum. But with the deployment and use of CNG, an average car owner would save about 12 million naira annually.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has assured Nigerians and key players in the beauty industry of quality steel production. Acting Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, Adamu Abdullahi, said this when he led a delegation to 3 steel manufacturing firms in Ogun State. Says the Commission got intelligence that required this visit to check the quality of products being produced by these firms. quality as claimed by these manufacturers. The Commission visited African Funders Limited, Ugijo, the Monarch Steel Mill Limited, Shagamu, and the Camp Steel Integrated Company, Shagamu, all in Ogun State.
Participants have commended the Platinum Stars Coaches Clinic as the second edition was concluded in Lagos at the National Institute for Sports inside the National Stadium, Surulere. Organized in collaboration with the National Institute for Sports, the clinic provided platform for young coaches to interface with experienced professionals, with gaffers of the newly crowned Nigeria Professional Football League champions, Enugu Rangers, Fidelis Ilechukwu, and his counterparts from Remo Stars Football Club, Daniel Ogumodede, being part of the training. The clinic, which involved theoretical and practical sessions, saw resource persons and veteran coaches Adeshino James and Jeremiah Kuwa, who is also a lecturer at the NIS, mentor and educate participants on methodologies for optimized performance, players management and coaching etiquettes. The NIS had partnered with organizers in line with its renewed drive to upgrade coaches' knowledge on modern football and ensure positive impact at the grassroots level through the discovery of genuine talents.
We are seeing this as a platform, for starting a revolution in football coaching in Nigeria.
We need to give more to the grassroots so that this can help our players to grow well. It can help our football ecosystem to grow well.
When they get this training now, it is not getting certificate to go and sit down at home, but to continue to look at the news, what they've learned, and try to implement them.
Excited by the turnout of participants, coordinator of the clinic, Nuruddin Aweruru, affirmed the commitment of Platinum Stars to supporting the coaches by organizing more training to educate handlers on the best practices in handling and motivating young players to attain their full potential.
Most of the younger coaches now coming up, the grassroots coaches coming up, appreciating this. They really happy for us to bring this kind of program for them, that they know they are going to the next level in the coaching of football.
I need to thank Almighty God for giving us this opportunity this year again, because we've agreed that it's going to be an annual event, and this year event is very, very impressive.
Participants described the high-impact training as refreshing and enlightening, while commending Platinum Stars Coaches Clinic for broadening their knowledge.
And bringing this coaching clinic to the school is going to impart a lot of things to us, as in the modern of coaching, talking to your player, encouraging your player.
And Platinum Stars putting this together, bringing out great resource person, especially the winning coach Fidelis Ilechukwu of Enugu Rangers, and also Coach Daniel Ogumodede of Remo Stars.
It has really impacted on the original knowledge we are getting from NIS. It's really eye-opening, talking about the basic modern training and all sort of ways to deal with the media and everything.
The clinic held at the conference hall of the NIS had over 150 coaches attending the two-day event. As the country continues preparations for the 2024 Davis Cup Group 3, non-playing captain Benson Isicheli has expressed optimism that Nigeria will gain promotion to Group 2 in 2025. The Africa Group 3 Championship holding in Abuja from July 15 is an opportunity for Nigeria to elevate its status in African tennis by advancing to the Group 2. The players like David Ekpeyong, Daniel Adeleye, Uche Oparaje, Michael Emmanuel and Christopher Bulus have been training rigorously since the national team camp commenced. Isicheli explained that preparation is going on smoothly and the players are in high spirits, looking forward to the commencement of the tournament built for the tennis section of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium.
Preparation is very high. We are preparing. We'll be having 2 sessions of training, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And from the look of things and the attitude and the body language of the players, I think we are good to go.
Nigeria, as the host nation, will compete against Zimbabwe, Namibia, Ivory Coast, Benin Republic, and Ghana. The top 3 teams at the end of the round robin will be promoted to Group 2.
Like I promised last year before we went for the promotion, going to get promotion, I'm going to give you the same assurance again this year. The players on ground and the pros coming in, we are going to gain promotion, nothing short of promotion.
The tournament will also avail Nigeria the opportunity to showcase its organizational capabilities as the Nigeria Tennis Federation promises a seamless event later this month.
Won't go Europe, please. We'll see how you perform this night now.
If you tell me, say, na 15 babes, you get. And I tell them, say, na 15 babes, day.
On entertainment news tonight, the 2020 film Oloture, which tells the story of a young journalist who embarked on a daring undercover investigation to expose a network of prominent individuals involved in sex trafficking of Nigerian women to Europe. Posing as a sex worker named Ehi, Oloture wants her way through the network as she experiences firsthand the horrific exploitation of sex workers that happens in this world and the structures that uphold them that she seeks to crush with the might of her pen. The character's decision is strikingly confusing as she achieved her main objective of identifying the shadowy figures behind the curtains during her unsuccessful escape back to familiar surroundings at the end of the film. However, the new show's plot offers her a fresh opportunity to return home after sickening tragedy as she opts to continue the journey with unclear objectives. The show increasingly treats Oloture less like a character of substance and more like a walking plot device. Oloture encounters all manners of bad actors on the road, untrustworthy strangers, kidnappers, rapists, double-dealing smugglers, and corrupt security operatives eager to exploit the situation. She made friends along the way, but the show's message is clear. This journey is not worth the trouble. Go back home and migrate legally. Since 1999, Afrobeat has had a steady supply of hit singers that has ensured the upward mobility in becoming the biggest mainstream music out of Africa. 2014 is no different as Nigerian superstars churned out several hit singers. Let's take a look at some of the biggest Afrobeat songs that soundtracked 2014. Aye by Davido. In 2014, the Maven crew came together to create a street anthem that highlighted their star-studded lineup and also won the Mama Award for Song of the Year. Ojuelegba by Whiskey.
They know my story. From old dogs to you. I be hustle to work.
Released in September 2014, Ojuelegba became a mega hit single that further elevates Wizkid's career and played a role in the global exportation of Afrobeats. MC Gala's went from relative obscurity to having listeners recreating his dance moves and his
Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Hurricane Belle, classed as Category 2, lashed the region's coastline on Friday morning, endangering 2 million people and the tourist hotspots of Cancun and Tulum. Beaches are closed and thousands of troops have been deployed to help as the storm hits the country's southeast shoreline. The U.S. National Hurricane Center warned people in the area to shelter from the life-threatening conditions the hurricane will bring over the course of the day. Across the Caribbean, at least 10 people are known to have died and more are missing. Roofs have been torn from buildings and thousands of homes were left without power. Mexican authorities have taken measures to prepare the coastline for the hurricane. The Northern Peninsula to provide support. The UK's new Prime Minister Keir Starmer has appointed his top team with Red Cooper as Home Secretary and David Lammy as Foreign Secretary. Rachel Reeves becomes the UK's first female Chancellor and Angela Rayner Deputy Prime Minister. Starmer vowed to restore trust in politics and build a government of service in his first speech as Prime Minister. It says his work is urgent and it must begin today. And this comes after Starmer met King Charles at Buckingham Palace and was formally invited to form a government. And let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast.